Hello, my name is Morgan Kessler, and I'm the city engineer for the city of Oxnard. This presentation is for the Oxnard Planning Commission meeting on May 2nd, 2024, and is to accompany the staff report for the 2030 General Plan and Local Coastal Plan Conformity Determination for the City of Oxnard Capital Improvement Program for fiscal years 2025 to 2029. The Capital Improvement Program, or as we refer to the CIP, includes capital or major improvements projects for Oxnard streets, parks, buildings, water and wastewater systems, and information technology infrastructure. Such projects vary greatly in both scope and funding. The Planning Commission shall review the fiscal year 2025 to 2029 CIP for conformance with Oxnard's 2030 General Plan and relevant coastal land use policies pursuant to Section 65401 of the Government Code. Government Code 65401 requires the Planning Commission to review the CIP for conformity. The fiscal year 2025 to 2029 CIP has 124 projects that have their funding sources identified. Also in the CIP are 61 projects that have no present funding source identified. The total CIP project value is around $750 million. For this present CIP development cycle, there are 32 new projects that have been identified by the various Oxnard city departments and have been added to this version of the CIP. The CIP's projects are anticipated to be built during the 5-year planning horizon of the CIP. The 32 new projects are in the categories of buildings, which include things like office improvements and building seismic studies. Parks and open space, and these sorts of projects include playground replacements, park lighting, and things like beach access improvements. Transportation and drainage, which include traffic signals and their controls and sidewalks and roadways. And finally, utilities, which are Oxnard's sometimes called enterprise projects, which include the materials recycling facility, water and wastewater treatment systems. While the majority of the CIP projects have been reviewed by the Planning Commission, the 32 new projects have not yet been reviewed. Therefore, the focus of the Planning Commission's present review will be on these 32 new projects to determine their conformity with the 2030 General Plan and the Coastal Land Use Plan. The CIP is not a project as defined under CEQA guidelines. This is because the CIP is a funding and planning document that does not involve any commitment to any one specified project. Rather, environmental review will be done prior to any of the individual projects within the CIP being built. The next steps for the CIP include, with the Planning Commission's recommendation, for the matter to going before the City Council on the May 21st, 2024 meeting. At this time, the City Council will then review the CIP for adoption. So for recommendations, staff recommends that the Planning Commission, 1, find the capital improvement program projects for the fiscal year 2025 to 2029 is not a project under the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to Section 15601B3 and 15378B4. And 2, adopt resolution 2024-XX, finding that the proposed capital improvement program projects for the fiscal year 2025 to 2029 or in conformance with the City of Oxnard 2030 General Plan and relevant coastal land use plan policies pursuant to Section 65401 of the Government Code. Thank you for reviewing this presentation, and staff will be available at the Planning Commission meeting to address any questions.